Selamat welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fab Indo News and Expansion Slot Spoilers, episode 11 August 2024. There's a bunch of development recently, and we also got new spoilers from the Rosetta set, but it's the expansion slot cards, so it's not the main set cards for Wizards and Runeblades. First of all, let's get right to it. In Fab Indo News, there's an important piece of news of the opening of Arcanum Bintaro. They just opened last week, August 3rd to 4th was their opening weekend. They had a bunch of events, a Pokemon TCG event, One Piece event, and you can play board games there. So congratulations to Arcanum for the opening of their third branch. Their first and second one was at Kuningan City and Taman Puring respectively. So if you're in the south of South Jakarta area, or you're in the Tangerang Selatan or South Tangerang Bintaro area, maybe possibly even Graha or BSD, there's a new LGS in town, and hopefully I'm gonna be there and to bring the religion of flesh and blood to them. But in the meantime, while they do not carry flesh and blood yet, you can go there, play board games. They have a bunch of card games. They have a bunch of sleeves, play mats that are on sale, bunch of really cool stuff. And as with the other Arcanum branches, they're always very welcoming to new players. The place is really, really nice. Their staff is very great. And overall, a great vibe. I went there last Friday. I brought my Flesh and Blood deck and played with a bunch of friends. Some people were interested. We tried playing the Commoner UPF, and we taught how to play. It's very easy. Most TCG players, if they've played another TCG or board game, it's very, very easy for them to pick up and understand Flesh and Blood, and most of them were kind of into it. So hopefully we can get Arcanum Bintaro to be Flesh and Blood LGS going forward. Their location, they're located at Jalan Merpati 6, nomor 8. They're on the second floor of a restaurant or cafe called Dragon's House. It's right by the Masjid Jami Sektor 2 for Bintaro. So you can't miss it. It's on the right side of the road, of the one-way road leading to the masjid. The place is really nice. It's really big, and it has this huge ramp towards the second floor. You can see it from a mile away. And their operational hours are Monday to Thursday. It's from 1 p.m. to 8. And then for Friday to Sunday, during the weekends, they're open a little bit longer, up until 10 p.m. But as always, we know that these are guidelines, and if there's events, if you know the store managers, they're willing to close a little bit later for you, that can be arranged. The parking arrangement, there's limited spots, but it's very nearby to the ranch market and near the masjid, so you can park either directly there, have a valet, or you park at the ranch market and walk a bit. Overall, once again, congratulations to Arcanum Bintaro. Looking forward to play great games of Flesh and Blood and other TCGs and board games at your store. That's it for the news portion of this week's video. Next up will be expansion slot cards. So first, we have two. This is the first one. It was spoiled by Savage Land News, and in theme, it's a brute card. It's called Splatter Skull. It's a red, 2-costed, 6-power, 3-block brute action attack, and it has the effect of when this hits, you choose a face-down card in their banish zone that was banished by an Intimidate effect, and you put it into the graveyard. So although this does not say Reiner specialization, we know that this is very much intended to be a Reiner support, since the other two brutes right now, both Lavaya and KO, don't do a lot of intimidating other than possibly just pack hunt. But Reinar, this card really shines, and it really helps him in the matchups where he needed the help. Unlike cards that just focus on where the hero is already good, this card, in my opinion, helps Reinar where he struggles. Reinar, his hero ability, intimidating or banishing cards face down from your opponent's hand, and then it later returns to their hand, is really good at pushing damage and forcing awkward blocks from decks that want to block. For aggro decks that don't want to block in the first place, if you intimidate 0 or 4 cards, it doesn't matter because they were not blocking with those cards anyway until it's lethal. But the damage output, usually you get outraced because a lot of the budget, power budget, is allocated to intimidating, and not doing damage or disrupting. Well, this card forces your aggro opponents to actually respect your intimidates. Take, for example, an intimidate turn. You just do Blood Rush Bellow, you discard a card, intimidate, you claw, splatter skull, you do a total of 18 damage. Usually, aggro decks are willing to, sure, I'll take 18, I'll send 20 back. But with splatter skull hitting for 8, they either have to give their 3 other cards to save that one card that's gonna die if they let Splatter Skull hit, or they just let it hit, take 18 damage, and they don't crack back with a full set. They only crack back with one less card. So it's very interesting, and there's lines of play as mentioned by the Savage Land News. You can play this very vanilla. If they respect it, you can keep it, you can arsenal something. Or if you have an agile wind-up in hand, you can do a combat trick where they declare no blocks and then you discard your agile wind-up, creating an agility token, and then they get intimidated. They banish a card, and then this on hit is now real. So aggro decks, watch out. Reinar might finally be coming back to the meta, and unlike KO, he has 2 hands, which means he can carry both claws, and the Blood Rush Bellow turns are actually scary. And with this, the aggro matchup might just be doable. So yeah, it's very interesting. I feel like what they printed was just on point. It was just what Reinar really needed. He needed help in the aggro matchup. And this delivers that in spades. There is no janky stuff here. It's perfectly on rate. The 2-cost red, 6 power, 3 block. No shenanigans, no requiring you to do things that you don't want to do. You're not forced to jump through hoops to reap the rewards. Intimidating is what Reinar does best, and this just makes your intimidates better. And it's not to say that both KO and Levaya can't or won't use this card, but at least for the time being, how their deck is constructed, you don't have plenty of intimidate effects. So yeah, this is very interesting. Looking forward to Reinar to make a resurgence in the meta with this card, because Levaya sure did see a huge spike in usage after the printing of the Shadow Realm Horror, which was an expansion slot card. So it's really nice to see these cards are powerful, impactful, and you want it and need it. And yeah, just makes me more excited for Rosetta. And another thing to point out, the artist for Splatter Skull is an Indonesian. So maybe catch him on the next big event, or meet him at your LGS, or just send the card to him and ask for his signature. Don't forget to order your artist proofs as well, and support your local artist. Yeah, that's it for part 1 of the expansion slot. That's for Brutes. The second one is spoiled by On Hit Effect, aka Rhea Adams. Um, Rhea is a well-known wizard slash illusionist player. She's really, really great at playing those. At the world premiere, I believe she cosplayed as Enigma while playing as Enigma. So that was very interesting to watch. And her expansion slot spoiler card is Flutter Steps, which is an illusion equipment leg that has Ward 1. It doesn't seem too hot, right? Because, okay, it's just iron rot that you don't get to choose when to use. But no, it has a bit more text than that, and it has relevance. First of all, it has the text, when this is destroyed, you may play your next aura this turn as though it were an instant. So you have a bunch of auras that are actions but are very powerful. For example, haze bending, the one shimmers of silver. Those cards are actions that have 2 blocks without go again for a reason. With Flutter Steps, okay, you let Flutter Steps die, and then you play those cards out on your opponent turn when they run out of action points. And this is the first leg piece for Illusionist that has Ward, which is relevant because we had the new hero from the gold pack, the Enigma New Moon. And Enigma New Moon cares about equipment pieces that has Ward, because her hero ability is pitch a chi, turn equipment face down, make it face up. If it has Ward, you create 3 spectral shield tokens. Before this card, we only had the headpiece, the afro head, the body piece, which was the rabbit hide, which has Ward 4, and the arm piece, which is the Waves of Reality. But we had no Ward leg equipments because the main set leg equipment, the legendary one, was not Phantasmal Footsteps. What was it? Yeah, you know it, the Enigma leg piece that only has Ward 3 after you pitch a chi. That doesn't count as having a ward, because the card needs to have the keyword ward on it. The legendary leg piece printed for Enigma, it has an ability that grants it ward, but it does not have innate ward. So the Enigma New Moon doesn't see it as a ward equipment. Thus, she can only get up to 9 spectral shields from her hero ability. Now with this card, you can have a ward piece in every slot, and you can grab up to 12 spectral shields, which is a ton of life. If you think about it, that's a lot of life. And the ability is also relevant in Enigma New Moon because she plays a bit similarly to the big Enigma, but with subtle differences. But she does still care about running auras and being able to run out your action speed auras during your opponent's turn when you see fit, because ward, you can choose which ones you pop, which ones you keep. Is very, very interesting. So yeah, I'm very curious to see how the Enigma New Moon players will incorporate this to their list, and if there will be major changes to the deck list, maybe possibly including more action speed auras that are powerful, that were previously, this is too slow, I don't have the time to deploy this, but now with access to Flutter Steps, you know that you can guarantee a free action point to deploy it on your opponent's turn, or even your turn if your opponent is able to do damage on your turn. Just makes it all the more interesting. So for those of you who are interested in playing Enigma New Moon, I highly recommend for you to grab it now before the prices go up again, because you can only get Enigma New Moon from the gold packs that you crack from the MSD boxes. So if you're a Gamba player, you like to Gamba, yeah, just crack open a couple of MSD boxes. Hopefully you get one. But if you're very budget conscious player that don't like to gamble, just buy the singles. I'm sure some of us in Indo has it for sale. Just post a one to buy post at the WhatsApp group or the Facebook Marketplace. I'm sure someone will PM you right away. That's it for today's Fab Indo news and expansion slot spoiler discussion. Yeah, I'm very, very excited for Rosetta and looking forward to play Flesh and Blood at Arcanum. That's it for this week's video. Sampai goodbye.